What's up YouTube? It's Zach and JJ, and here's a little peek into our vacation in Croatia. So the day after the wedding, my sister booked a beautiful venue called San Cancian, and it was very close to Italy. We stayed in Istra, but this was in Buye, and JJ and I were very reminiscent of Vermont because it had all the foliage that we are accustomed to.
So wine and olive oil and truffles are very specific to Croatia. There's like specialties, and it seemed like everywhere we drove, everywhere we went, there were signs to buy organic, all natural, homegrown olives, olive oil, truffles, and just fresh wine everywhere we went. It was just so beautiful, so good for you, and so good tasting.
It's a birdhouse.
It's a birdhouse.
So you can hear me going crazy singing for Zoe's birthday. It was a special moment because she turned 11 the day after my sister had her wedding. So just a really great moment all around. I don't know how she's ever gonna top this birthday for herself.
So the day after the wedding celebration, Mate and Kayla, the newlyweds, brought us to a beautiful town for a great lunch with beautiful views. Mate was a great tour guide and brought us around to all these beautiful side streets and outlets. We went on a beautiful walk, and it was such a great time with our family. We met a lot of locals that were so excited to have us there. And Mate made us feel like this was a new home away from home for us.
Here's one of my favorite shots. It's all the specialties that JJ was talking about. Every kind of olive oil and truffle oil you can imagine. So one of the main questions you get is, how was the beach? How was the swimming? And it was interesting because it was pretty rocky, but the water was crystal clear, and it was just so amazing, almost like bath water at times. And the only thing is I stepped on a sea urchin a couple of times because they're hidden in the rocks, but other than that, I had an amazing time. From Fajana, there's a boat to Briuni. It's a small port town, but I personally think it was my favorite place to go. It had the freshest fish and pasta, of course, because it's right by the water. And it was just such a cute, kind of quaint village town that I could really get along with. Upon arriving to Brioni, you can see a beautiful hotel that I would really like to stay at in the future. Although Fajana was probably my favorite place to grab a bite, I would say Brioni was just the best for sightseeing. Also best for swimming, which we'll get into later, but as you can see, everywhere you would turn, it was just something gorgeous, some beautiful plant or wildlife that you could see.
Okay.
But yeah, look at those trees. They're growing horizontally. I guess they're trying to reach the water or maybe get some more sunlight. So, yeah, true.
Everywhere we went on this island was so beautiful. As a family, we got lunch at this perfect place right on the water that didn't even have Wi-Fi to accept credit cards. You had to pay with cash. And it was right next to these steps where you could just walk right into the water. As you can see, I took a little bit of a roundabout, longer route to get to our little hut chairs that they had right on the stone, right across from the water with beautiful views. And this was actually just free for the public. It was gorgeous and provided shade while also allowing you to enjoy the sunshine and, in our case, enjoy our family who would prefer to stay, I would say, in the shade more oftentimes than in the sun. Zach took many clips of me here, and most of the time I thought he was just taking photos of me, so I get prepped a couple of times in hopes I was getting my photo taken, but instead, here we are, a couple of videos of me just posing.
Here we're gonna switch to some GoPro footage. It took me almost a half an hour to convince JJ to do it. She really didn't want to jump in, and this spot was obviously a bit deeper. But eventually we got there. I probably cropped out a minute of her saying she didn't want to do it, but after this I think she kind of enjoyed it.
It's so clear though. Look, you can see your whole body in there.
So swimming in the Mediterranean was amazing for me. I have this weird personal block that I can't really float, but for some reason, I don't know what it is about this sea, I was able to do it, and it might be the difference between me swimming in the ocean here in Massachusetts, which is murky, gross, and choppy, but here it's just really kind of like a pool, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the salt content, but I was able to just finally break that mental block and relax and float.
A little bit.
This water was so beautiful, and as you see here, I'm pretty flustered, and I said my eyes are burning because the water is just so salty, but like Zach said, it's just so warm, it's so perfect, and it's some of the best times I had on this trip and something I will remember for the rest of my life.
JJ and I found a spot to kind of get away and eat our gelato. This was vanilla milk, and it was just so amazing. So here we're kind of in a goofy stage. It's getting to the end of our vacation, and I'm mispronouncing Fajana. I said Fazana, and we're just laughing about everything and really kind of just enjoying the last little bits of our vacation. So the most memorable meal for me was the first class fish, and it was basically just the pick of the day, and we got to pick whatever one we want and opted for the big one rather than two small ones. They came out and they cleaned it in front of us, which was just a cool experience all around, but it was just some of the best, fresh, flakiest fish I've ever had in my life, and I definitely won't forget it anytime soon.